We're on air, we're live, we're ready to rumble. Welcome to Retro Racing here for the British Grand Prix. Yeah, you should be able to see that now. I'm just going to leave that on that frame for a minute, just while I get Twitch chat up to share it, then I'll join the lobby, then we'll go into quali, then we'll have the Retro Racing British Grand Prix, and then we can all go to bed, or do things that you do before going to bed, I guess. Unless you're in somewhere like America, in which case you'll probably, I don't know, you'd probably have tea, wouldn't you? Just after this race, because it finishes at about 9, which is about 4 PM American time. So actually no, you'd be midway through your day, so you'd probably have just finished lunch. And I don't know what an American would eat for lunch, but I'm sure it's fairly delightful. I should join the lobby, shouldn't I? But I want to get the stream. I want to give them the stream before. Actually, I may as well just join now before I think with the stream. Yes, this is a theatre mode of a 5-lap race that I did like ages ago. I don't know. Although I genuinely don't know, but I'll join an interview before we start. Alright, party audio on. You're on the stream. So Nitro, you're in Ferrari, aren't you? So what can you expect out of this British? You're in Lotus. So you're in the what used to be the British-based company, now is being sold to Chinese ownership. Not so long ago. So what can you expect out of this weekend, and who are your biggest rivals? DNF. Yeah. 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 Hopefully. So yeah, I think. Well, I mean, Austria was a painful race for everyone, given the fact that it, normally a race lasts about an hour 30 to 2 hours, and that race lasted 3 hours and 20 minutes. After that whole red flag fiasco at the start. Hopefully we don't get the same result here in Silverstone, the track that's about an hour train ride from the Rockingham Speedway that used to host touring cars back in the day. But yeah, I think so. In terms of biggest rivals, like, in terms of constructors or in terms of actually driving, like, who's the one that you're looking at today thinking if I finish behind him it's not a good day? Oh, what's happened? Oh oh no, I was midway through an interview with Nitro and I've just I got pulled out of an interview with Nitro from that. Oh well. Let me just check my. Is my stream disconnected? I think my stream just disappeared. No, it didn't. I'm being silly. Lots of things are happening. Can I hear any of you? I think I can. I can't hear anyone who's on mute, though. But I can hear. Well, apparently Patrick isn't mute, but I can't hear him. I can. Get lots of notifications on who's joining and leaving, but yeah, I'll send the Twitch chat into the Discord. Oh no, I've already done that. So yeah. But yeah, so Nitro today he's looking to challenge with Exam Max, who got a great podium on his debut here in Retro Racing last week in the Austrian Grand Prix that shall be remembered. As well, it's not like you can forget 3 hours and 20 minutes of racing, but how many red flags was that as well? I think that was about in total 8 or 9 red flags, which is more than the Baku qualifying session, which has 6 red flags in the 2025 iteration of qualifying throughout the entire 3-part conjoined session. Yes. You right? my stream can hear you just going Joe. Well, Torlin. So we have that's in the what do you call it? In the background, you can. So Torlin here, that's for the viewers and for spectators alike. Torlin, that voice you can hear is Torlin. He's the owner, and he's just doing some organisation stuff. But I think so. It looks like we're getting a last-minute driver. Looks like we got last-minute driver into today's race, which is very nice. So we currently have 11 people in the session. As the main BMW driver today is not here. As Exam Max, the man who got podium on debut last week, isn't here. As being an owner of a league is never an easy job, and Torlin handling the Fenny's also the Ferrari driver, who's 4th down. So oh yeah, there are grid penalties for this weekend. Torlin, you can hear me as well, can't you? Just that I'm not. Let me just check. Torlin can definitely hear me. Torlin, you can hear me? Just please. Where'd he go? Oh, he's back. Right. I think I can hear. I think Torlin can hear me. Everyone get a hack. I can't go on stage. Is this? Hello? Oh, can you not hear me? Oh no. Hang on, can Torlin hear me? Hello? Yes, you've invited. What? Invited me to what? Oh, shit. Invited me to set. Yeah. Yeah, just move me, because... There you go. How do I accept? Shit. Apologies for swearing, but... What's that? How can I accept it on Xbox? I can't accept to speak on Xbox. How am I doing this? Can I transfer it to Xbox? How can I do it? that work? I think it works. Please tell me it works. Can you hear me? Oh no, I can't hear him. But right, let me get some speakers actually, one sec. Get some speakers. Last minute preparations here for retro racing, just bear with. All good, mate. Just gonna use these headphones. Yeah. Hang on. Right, headphones. Right, so I'm probably gonna be wearing 2 sets of headphones if Torrent's speaking because I can't hear Torrent. Hang on. Wait. Hang on. Can I hear? Can I hear him? I think I should be able to hear him. Yeah, my audio thing's come up. I should be able to hear him now. I'll switch mic, maybe. Oh wait, no, I can hear him now. I can hear him. Yes, I can hear you. Okay. No, I've never even heard a beat. I've heard of you. Okay, right. I don't have beat added, but yeah. Okay. Right, well, I'm gonna have a co-commentator today, ladies and gents. So Kai, the commentator from Austria, is in abroad today. He's re-kid, if I'm not mistaken. So he should be re-kid anyway. I'll find out. Oh god, I can hear myself. Okay. Bye. Right. Torrent has left, so that is the right. So I can put my other headphones back on for a bit. Actually, no, I don't even need these ones on. I just need these ones around my neck so that the mic can catch. So actually, no, I'll just put these there. Chill to start. I think we are. I think we're just waiting for Pete to pop in, and we'll be good. What is this mic doing? Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. That'll do. That will do. That will do. Look, that's right there. Put these ones on. They're tiny, but they'll do. Look, perfect. What a setup. And you can't see my setup, but yeah, what a setup. Get my chicken and chips. Chicken and chips. Where's my barbecue sauce? Yeah, I'm munching midway through comms, but why not? We start. Do we start? Let me check chat. Phoenix has invited Pete because he is an absolute beautiful person. Mike sounds crisp as fuck, yes. Oh, I've sworn on stream. Oh well. Apologies. I can hear myself in the background. Why is that? Oh, I've got my stream audio on. I'm really quiet on Discord. I know, I can't really change that. I can turn myself up, but the mic quality is shocking on Discord. Yeah, I did. Look, you didn't hear that, alright? You didn't hear that, Phoenix. Phoenix, you heard nothing. Aye. So saying a naughty word on stream, is that's like exceeding track limits. Penalty. Right, I think we are about to start. People are readying up, so I think we are about to go in for qualifying here. I'm just gonna, because I'm on Discord at the moment as well. That might sound better, although there might be a bit of static in the Discord. But on Twitch it should be fine because this mic isn't really too bad. I'm gonna put my barbecue sauce on my thing. We'll be ready for retro racing. And if I do get some teams wrong, apologies. All the liveries do look different in their own ways, and also aren't the actual liveries, so that makes it a tad hard to identify them. But we shall move forward. I'm going to get Snap up and invite people on Snap to the stream, because why not? May as well get some growth. Well, I mean, they don't even play the F1 game, but why not get some viewers into the stream? So that is a natural thing. Right, so we're here for retro racing qualifying, and I'm going to have a retro little dip of my chicken. Need to do the graphics, 1 second. Right. Oh. There we go. Right, we have 2 cars coming out on track. That is Missile in the Benetton. Oh no, that's Mr. Lewis, should I say, in the Benetton. Who's coming out of the pits now? Who's coming out of the pits now is Miss Lewis. And he's gone wide already on the exit of the pit lane. Now, hopefully that doesn't foreshadow the rest of the race. My party audio should be... Oh no, because it's on Discord. So will he actually hear me? I don't know. See Kai in the voice chat VT2. Yeah, right, okay, so we're here for quali. I think it's a full qualifying, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, I can check that in settings. So, is quali full or is it short? It is a full qualifying. Full qualifying, then a 3-lap race that everyone's going to retire from, because we're going to make the race lobby again, but with the grid penalties added on. So, who has grid penalties? I'm just trying to remember. I think, is it Matty? I can't remember. I need to have a look again. Here's Bials in the Red Bull, the winner from Imola, in the San Marinian Saint, heading up Woodcote into Copse Corner. Meanwhile, we have Phoenix behind 2 other cars. I think that might be one of the Mercedes and one of the McLarens, it looks like, who I think it's the first race McLaren are doing in retro racing. Actually, the first one that I've seen, at least for a while anyway, if they have raced, but I don't think they've raced yet, so it is a Vodafone McLaren debut. But Mr. Lewis is on a lap. Lewis here. And also God Chaos, another fellow YouTuber, in P7 at the moment. DXRS Nitro as well, who we interviewed earlier on before we got cut off to get into the commentary box. And then we also have GC4GL. I'm just going to call him GC, but that does look like another McLaren livery. It is, so 2 McLarens on the grid today. That will be something good to watch. We have Lewis, we have Rekid, who, if I'm not mistaken, is Kai from the commentary box in Austria. We have Bauhaus coming through. Well, who's going to be the first one to complete a lap? I think it will be the man in 11th. No, it won't be. It will be... Oh, someone spun. Someone spun on the exit there. I'm not too sure who that was, though. We'll try and find out. And it is Rekid. Kai in the McLaren's gone round and Paul Scholes is out of the session at Brooklands. I don't know if you can see on the map, look. Down at the map, there's a yellow dot in the middle of nowhere. That is a shocker there. But Nitro... Look, it's going to be the first... No, it's not. It's going to be someone else who will find out. Like God Chaos, it was, who sets the 29.6. That's the benchmark time. Can that be beat by the white and red car of Nitro? No, it can't. And no, it can't by Lewis Hitt either. Lewis Hitt doesn't move any higher towards pole position. Meanwhile, we have pole position taken by GC in the second of the McLarens. Nice lap by GC. As we have Rekid with one of the Ferraris behind him. Is he blocking the Ferrari? That's going to be interesting to know. That is Phoenix that he's blocking, who's currently 7th but without a time. The next person to go over the line will be James, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not. It's Matty who takes pole position by nearly a second. We have Bias going into P2, the winner from Imola, into P2, where he started in Imola as well. So the man who won last time he started in P2, coming out of the final corner. Meanwhile, we have out of club corner comes Phoenix, who's just gone, just under a second behind GC. We have one of the Brawns going over the line. That is, I'm not too sure who that is actually. We have DX. Oh, we have that car that went over the line. I think that is the Brawn of DX, the man who was in the Williams last time out, but is now in a different livery, very green and black livery. It looks like a Brawn, but instead of white, it's black, which is quite a nice car. Also, if I'm not mistaken, the pit stop glitch from what was it called? The pit stop glitch from the pit stop exploit that was discovered by Jan and Watmere in F125 in a PSGL race. That has been outlawed. Anyone who tries that will be disqualified, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, if someone can confirm me on that one, but I am pretty sure if you do that exploit, you will get a disqualification. And I don't know what it is with Silverstone and Mars Sector exploits, but they seem very common in F1 games. As Bios back to the pits, they have the Benetton of James just behind him. It was discoverable before, but it's just been kind of made more aware of because of Jan and Watmere, and more people are trying it now. We have James though, purple in sector 1, keep an eye on him coming through Love Field, which no it didn't, and then coming through Woodcote, which used to be the final corner up until 2009. He's had 34.5, I don't think that's representative of his pace, but Matty still on pole by a massive margin. So let's see what James has to offer. Can he improve on that 34.5? He's coming through Beckett's. Got lots of commitment in that Benetton. Benetton have a history at Silverstone of being disqualified, most notably in 1994, if I'm not mistaken. 1995, I can't quite remember. Michael Schumacher got disqualified and banned for 2 races. It was 1994. He got banned for 2 races after overtaking Damon Hill on the formation lap twice and then ignoring the black flag when it came out. James, though, looks like he's just got a little bit slippery on the exit of that corner, and he's gone half a second behind Nitro. So that means there's a car off at Maggots and Beckett. That is Rekid in the McLaren, who's off again. So not the ideal line there. Meanwhile, we have DXRCS, who's doing much better than he did in Japan, hearing provisionally in qualifying. It looks like he's off his time though. It says he's 6 seconds down, but I could be wrong. What we had? Oh, he's into the pitch, yep. And in lap for DXCRS. And he's currently 200ths ahead of the man behind him, GC. Incredible. We have James. Still looks like he's struggling out there. He's on an in lap. So, Rika though, out of the final corner, looks like he's starting a lap. So, let's see, as Rika heads through Abbey and Farm. He's currently the only one, apart from Paul Scholes, to not set a time, but he's the only one still in the qualifying session that hasn't set a time. James, though, coming up to the final corner, yeah, he's definitely on an in-lap. Here's Rika, then the only one who's on a lap, apart from Nitro, who's further behind him, into Brooklyn's corner. As we go back onto the old section of Silverstone, off of that newer section brought in the start of the 2010s, and out of Woodcote down what used to be the pit straight. Lots of very close to the white line now on the exit of Woodcote for Rekid, otherwise known as Kai if I'm not mistaken. They're heading through Cops Corner into the second and third corner for the ELMS grid in the European Le Mans Series, where they had a mental race in Silverstone with changeable conditions. I'm not too sure if there's changeable conditions today in the race, but if there is, then that will definitely hype the race up, as although ELMS raced for 4 hours, that race was a pretty hectic one. And he threw. Meanwhile, just realised Phoenix and God Chaos as well, both separated by just 200ths of a second. So that's going to be very close. There's a bit of traffic management going on at the top of Stowe. Heading out of Club Corner, Rekid over the line. The McLaren goes nowhere. 34.4. So he's about 6 cents behind his nearest rival. We have Nitro, the next one to set a lap, and he is nowhere. We have TTV Lucky, who's just joined the session. I'll update you on what car he was in last time out. As over the curb there, Nitro goes up to 7th, but with a huge whack to the curb. But he goes up one position. He goes ahead of both Benettons, and he's just under the halfway mark of the grid, which is currently being occupied by God Chaos. But if he gets 200 better on his lap, then he'll be ahead of Phoenix in the Ferrari. The man who finished second in Imola, despite spinning 3 times at the beginning of the game. One of the Benettons are off. That is Miss Lewis, should I say. He's gone off. First you have to finish. And although I've been playing a lot of WRC Rally in EA WRC, I don't think that line's very conventional, even in Rally. There's Miss Lewis Hit, as he's known as well, coming through the loop complex, and he gets a little bit shaky out of there through Aintree, where Felipe Massa had a dramatic crash with a puncture coming through that corner. Well, we have one of the more white-looking cars. That is Rekid, who's 3 tenths up on his lap. This could be lap for him. No, it's not. He's gone very wide out of the Vale chicane. Round club. And nowhere again for Rekid, losing that 3 tenths he had on his lap. We have GC going up to P3. Decent lap there. Just under a 10th behind pole position. The top 6 are very close. No, they're not. Top 4 are very close. Then you have the kind of mid 4, all in the 29s, then we have everyone else behind that still yet to set a clean lap. Here's Miss Lewis then, Lewis Hit, looking to hit a better time from 8th at the moment. He's gone right to the outside of Hangar Straight. That will set him up nicely for Stowe. But Stowe corner, where Nigel Mansell done his winning overtake on Nelson Piquet back in the 1986 Grand Prix. We have Lewis Hit coming out of that corner and going straight to the pit lane, bailing his lap. Here's James then, currently trying to get better on his lap, but he goes over that bump. There's a bump on the Wellington Straight just under the bridge, and it does lose you a lot of straight line speed, and it's all the way on the outside, so you have to kind of go to the inside of it to be able to avoid it. And it is very much recommended. It does cost you about 2 tenths of a second, which can be vital. In like, just for context, 2 tenths of a second is currently is the gap separating 7th and 8th. It's also the gap currently separating 5th and, well, if you were in God Chaos's case, it would firmly put you in 5th. If you if you're DX RCS, you'd go up to P2 potentially if you were 2 tenths up. So 2 tenths does mean a lot up here in Retro Racing. Can James find a bit more than 2 tenths heading round the lap, round the Vale chicane for the potentially final time? There's James up to P2, the runner-up here in qualifying, the second man in the 127s, and he's got a 888 on the end of his time. That's kind of a little win. Every little helps, as Tesco say. Meanwhile, oh, there's a bit of a yellow flag there. I think that's just some traffic management for the Brawn. As Lucky there. Oh, there's a bit of lag there for Matty. That could hurt him later on in the race, but the man in the... is that a Jordan? Or is that a Benetton? I think it's a Jordan. Currently coming through that corner. We have GC going up. There's Phoenix going up the order, going up ahead, and the fastest man in the 128s, the 128.3, and he bailed out of the corner. Here's M. Biles with a big lock up. You can hear the tyres. You can actually very much hear the tyre squeal through there. We have Matty on a lap as well in the Jordan, so that will be good to watch. We're coming to the final parts here of Retro Racing qualifying. Keep your eye on this one. No. Right. Just to warn you, I don't think Pete would have his own stream, or I think Pete would have to have his own stream because unless we're in an Xbox tie, my stream won't capture his voice. He obviously as a commentator. So just a bit of technical feedback to the event organisers. What on earth is happening with James and one of the McLarens? I think that's Rekid. It is. Rekid and the McLaren has caused James to have a spin. Not too sure what's happened there. We'll come back to that topic in a minute. Matty though, 310 up. He's about to take pole position and leave it at another county. Matty coming through the final two corners in the Jordan, if I'm not mistaken. At a club corner, sends pole position to a club nowhere near James. Half a second separating James from pole now. James isn't on a lap as well. That could be his quali over unless he gets round for another lap in time. As I think FedEx, no, I think did GC just do a lap? I'm not too sure. As DXCRS on a lap at the moment. Got Chaos finishing an out lap. We have just up ahead here, Lucky setting his first lap here in qualifying, just ahead of CRS. Lucky goes up to 10, DX goes up to 5th. And that gap between Lucky and Lewis here is around about 300ths of a second. Again, no matter where you're looking, it's a close gap apart from if you're looking at Rekid's time. So the top 10 very close in their own battles. G6 currently, GC should I say, coming out of that corner. He's currently got the toe of one of these, looks like an Alfa Romeo if I'm not mistaken. DX again improving. No, he's not. Is he improving? I thought it said he was improving. Might be lying. We have Biouse down on his lap. Biouse is down on his lap. As Fenix saying we were meant to have more people. Oh yeah, it's a full qualifying here. So that will be interesting. So technically this is Q1, so this will be interesting if anyone gets eliminated or not. But provisionally, Matty's on par ahead of James, then Fenix. I wonder if Torlant's going to say take the results from Q1 and just put that into the race lobby, because we're having to swap lobbies anyway. So I reckon just do this as that. But yeah, anyway, we'll figure that out when that battle comes. GC's currently behind DX by 200ths of a second. All these gaps being measured in hundreds, like in their own different battles. God Chaos as well, currently looking to set a Barnstormer. We have one of the white looking cars, so that's Rekid. Nearly a second up on his personal best lap. This could be the lap for Rekid in the McLaren. But he's also got one of those cars behind it. I think that could be one of the Bennettons. It is. I think it's Missile. No, it's not Miss Lewis. It's James. James is currently behind on the push lap. This could end badly. Dirty F for James. We saw it affect Max Verstappen earlier in the Singapore Grand Prix real life. And we've seen it affect James. James doesn't improve his time, doesn't improve his position. Rekid has the same fate. Biouse, Pitts, and who else is yet to cross the line? There's someone on the hanger straight here. I think that could be Matty. It is. Matty down on his lap, heading through. So TCL spins. He does a little 360. Whoa, everyone's spinning. What on earth's happening here? They're all doing donuts like it's the donut factory out of the Simpsons movie, which is actually having a sequel in 2 years' time, in 2027, according to a thing I saw on Twitter. It's called Chaos, goes over the line, doesn't improve his time at all. As Lucky being the last one to set a time, he loses the car there. He was 2/10 up, loses the car. Will he at least get up into 9th? No, he won't. He loses 3/10 to his own time, and that's the end of qualifying. We're waiting for Matty to pit here. Q2, the last two drivers should be knocked out. Yeah, it's a shame that you can't remove the Q1 and just do like a Q2, Q3 type session. That would be fun, but It would make like knockout qualifying more doable in like smaller leagues and smaller lobbies and things like that. So, yeah, so that is the Q1 order. I'm not too sure if this is going to be the actual order of the grid or if this is just going to be the normal Q1 order, but I'm pretty sure this is just going to be the Q1 order. I don't think much is going to come from this. But yeah, I mean, apart from that incident with Rekid and James, I'm not too sure what happened there, but it looked like James was on fast. Like Rekid just didn't see him coming. They had a bit of a tango, similar to way long ago. I don't know why I remember this, but 2021, Ocon and Perez, Ocon in the Alpine on a fast lap, Perez on a slower lap. No, was it Perez on a fast lap? I can't remember, but it's at Imola, the Villeneuve chicane. One of them was on a fast lap and just went through the Villeneuve chicane, got clipped on the rear, and spun through the Villeneuve chicane back in Imola 2021. And it looks a bit similar, but kind of a bit different as well. But a second separating third from first, so Matty and James really setting the field alight in the first part of qualifying. But we head to what looks to be the second part of qualifying, so it looks like they are just going to stick to 3-part qualifying. And right, so Paul Scholes, currently everyone's in the bits. I don't know why I'm specifying Paul Scholes, but Paul Scholes looks like he retired from qualifying. That could be very good by Paul Scholes, by the way, as well, because he's just saved he's just saved tyres for Q2 and Q3, unless apart from the reserve tyres for Q1. If he has tyres that he can save into Q2 and Q3, that will help him out a lot in the next stages of qualifying. So keep an eye on that. We currently have Lewis Hitz back out on track, and he doesn't go off at the pit entry this time. So drivers learning from their mistakes here in retro racing. But Lewis Hitz, he's kind of like the Martin Brundle, the kind of B-tier driver in Benson at the moment, compared to James, who's currently, in terms of pace-wise anyway, as heading down to Brooklands and Love-Field. See what Lewis Hitz can do. He's been a solid midfield driver in the start of this season. He's looking to impress a bit further here in Silverstone in round 4 of retro racing. Why is the safety car on the track? I swear down, I've just seen the safety car on the track. I was midway through eating my chicken in this early stage of qualifying, thinking nothing's happening. I swear I've just seen the safety car on the track. Am I going Delulu? I could have sworn I just saw the safety car on the track. Keep an eye out. I think I just saw the safety car on the track. I could have sworn to you. Please tell me someone else saw that. At the top of Stowe, there was the safety car. I could have sworn I just saw it. Anyway. Moving on from that little bit of a scare, we have Paul Scholes, we have James, currently in the standings. Let me just check general. Torlin also saw it, so I'm not going to Lulu. The safety car was genuinely there, unless me and Torlin are both having the same issue. Yeah, look, there it is again, look. Here's It's coming up to the safety car. The safety car currently trying to qualify for the British Grand Prix here in retro racing. And no, this is not a Le Mans Ultimate League, or it's not an ACC League, or it's not anything. This is F124, so GT cars on the field, that's not going to do too well. Luckily, no one's near there. The nearest guy there is at Brooklands, and the safety car, look, going through Beckett's now. What do we do in this situation? Do we just let it run the track and just let it kind of be a bit of traffic, like a bit of a ELMS situation or something like that? Let the driver soldier on? Or do we have to call a session? If we do we do Q2 and Q3 still, or do we just take the results from Q1? I'm not too sure, but there is definitely the safety car on the track. We'll see if it comes in or not. Lucky is the closest guy to the safety car now. We'll see if it's come in or not. But drama. Meanwhile, in all that fuss, Matty and Paul Scholes are the top two. Paul Scholes ahead of Lewis Hitt by about half a tenth of a second. No, 7/700ths of a second. Which is mental. I haven't seen the safety cars of yet, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll see it again. But the safety car was definitely on the track there. We just saw it go when we were on board with Phoenix. Phoenix just had to overtake it on the way into Carps. There it is again, heading through the loop. Lucky catching up to the Aston Martin Vantage V8 safety car and running into the back of it, or did he just go through it? I think he ghosted through it, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if this is a visual glitch or not. I'm spooked, if I'm honest. There's purple sector 1 though for Lucky. I'm gonna put, where did my lap data go? My lap data disappeared. So the lap, as James goes up the order, about 4 seconds behind the pole time, with DXR, who's having a superb quali session at the moment. Now, what does the officials of Retro Racing, we'll call them the Retro, what do we call them? The Retro Rulers, there we go, the Retro Rulers. That's a beautiful name. Anyway, Lucky coming through, so we'll get an update on, yeah, Phoenix. There was a safety car on the track, we've just seen it with Lucky as well, so there is genuinely a safety car on the track, although it looked like Lucky went through it. And if that's the case, then it's only a visual glitch, but that can cause issues sometimes. But there was the safety car on the track, I can confirm that. I thought I saw it at Stowe for a quick second. We have God Chaos having a little bit of a chaotic drift around there. We have two Benettons in the top 4. We have Lucky coming out of that corner. We have, is Lewis Hitt on a lap? No, he's not. James is near the end of a lap. But the safety car is on the track. Now, what happens now? You can't see the safety car when driving. Luca, sorry, I think Luca is Lucky. So he's saying he can't see the safety car when driving. I've just seen it about 3 times on stream. And I'm not too sure. I think it could be a visual glitch, but no, it can't be a visual glitch because Phoenix just seen it going up into cops, and on my screen he had to overtake it, and he nearly put the safety car into the wall or into the grass. So I'm not too sure what's going on here. There was an incident in Apex Racing League in Qatar. Where there was a safety car on the track midway through the race in green flag conditions for no reason. There was no safety cars up, or there was one safety car up to that point, but it was like 10 laps beforehand, I'm pretty sure. And it did come out, and it was a contactable object, or it was something that you could actually make and like hit. That's what I mean. So, very peculiar circumstances. This safety car, it's hiding away at various points, but then it is just turning up. There it is again, I think. No, it's not. I got Paul Scholes confused with the safety car. This is really strange. Can I see it at the end of pits? I think you should be able to see it on the way out the pits, but I'm not too sure. If someone comes through the pit lane, or comes out of the pit lane, let me know, because I'm going to go on board with you, just so I can see if the safety car's actually in the pits or not. as there's a yellow flag. There's two yellow flags. Bias down Cop's corner. There's nearly contact between him and someone else. There was also GC, who looks like he's just had a bit of a spin. Lucky though, coming through Cops for the moment. Oh, there it is again. There's the safety car again, heading into the failed chicane. So it's definitely not pitting. This safety car is roaming around this place rent free. Chaos here in Q2. I mean, luckily it's only a Q2. It's not a Q1. It's not a Q3, should I say? So, but if it does happen again in Q3, I reckon we'd have to restart it, because that could completely affect the result of qualifying. But to be fair, it is just like another car on the track, but it's on the racing line. There's a lot that has to be thought about here on what happens if the safety car stays out and affects things. And do we just let the drivers do what they do in WEC and in Le Mans? Oh, there, Nitro just went through it, you see. So I think if you can drive through it in the way Nitro just did, you should be okay. I think the car behind's just gone around it, played it safe. Bias has just gone. I think he just went through as well. He's currently half second up as well, so he could actually take a big leap towards pole. So the safety car should be coming out of left field about now. Obviously, you can't see it in the map. I'm just estimating at this point. So. Sorry, beat him. No. Oh, a buyout. Buyout's nearly hitting a very unsafe Lucky in the Mercedes. Phoenix 2/10. Phoenix currently 2 tenths up. As James has just gone ahead. No, Buyout. He just became the fourth man in the 127s here in Q2. There was definitely a safety car on this racetrack, and it's not exactly causing carnage, it's just causing distraction. Phoenix currently coming through Stowe corner. I reckon the safety car's just ahead of him, I'm pretty sure. I think I can see it. Look, have a look, there he is. He's just gone across the screen. Phoenix is going to catch up to it any minute, but currently on his lap, Phoenix over the line, goes up to P5. Great lap by Phoenix, but he's now behind the safety car, and yeah, you do go through it from what I can see. Is this a visual glitch for me? Can the other drivers see it? Because I'm pretty sure Phoenix saw it, but did he see it on stream or did he see it on here? I don't know what's going on. It's a visual glitch. Yeah. So it's just a visual glitch. So there's nothing really to worry about here. But Phoenix. As Lewis hit, doesn't improve his time. If he did, he'd only need half a tenth to get ahead of Phoenix in the Ferrari. One of the cars coming out of the pit lane, that's Paul Scholes. We have James coming out of the pits as well, and his Bias coming down the pit lane. We have Phoenix coming through. We have GC, and yeah, we have GC coming through the final two corners. We have God Chaos from too far behind him, over the line for GC to end his out lap. I thought he was on the lap, but anyway, we have God Chaos, who is also on an out lap. That was the excitement of that one. Matty, you're also on an out lap. This is really not going well. We have Phoenix, who's currently on an in lap. That means Lucky is not. We have Nitro currently behind one of the McLarens. That is Rekid, and whoa, big one through the grass, and there is the safety car. Then it is a visual glitch though, so the drivers can go through it. Safety car does react to the drivers though. Yeah, we're going to go on board with Rekid because that is where the safety car is. this glitch has happened a couple times, but it is kind of like a wild card, very rare thing, a bit like a crazy 8 power up in Mario Kart. And honestly, this just reminds me of WEC, so if anything, I'm in a happy place right now. But anyway. Oh, Matty's up on his lap as well. Keep an eye on that. That will be important for qualifying. But let's keep an eye on the bottom of the order, because God Chaos and Rekid could both get eliminated if they don't put in a lap. But God Chaos is currently 2 seconds up on his lap so far. So I think God Chaos should be able to chaotically get up the order. So the drivers can see it on the track map. I can't see it on the track map, I'm pretty sure. So anyway, God Chaos on the final call. There's a bit of traffic here that could affect it. Matty goes up to pole. God Chaos improves his time, doesn't improve his position. He needs a lap now, because otherwise he's going to be out for the next 15 minutes of qualifying. And he's also going to start on the back row of the grid. Rekid as well, he could be on the back row of the grid if he doesn't sort his McLaren into a time fast enough for the top 10. So Rekid coming through back is nearly going off a chapel. Mental stuff here. Meanwhile, we have Nitro in 9th, looking to make himself feel comfy in the top 10. He's currently P9. He's about half a second away from being eliminated from qualifying. He's gonna go and change that real quick. Nitro up to P8. He's safely away now. 6/10 separating 9th from 11th. We have 3/10 separating Lucky from elimination and from the back row. As heading through them, as we head through. Why am I being pinged about hot laps? Anyway, as there's the safety car currently on a lap. He's currently in P13. Anyway, as Bird Myland up, currently 13. We have God Chaos. So Rekid is out of qualifying. He's not able to set a faster time. God Chaos though, who was up in the midfield in Q1, can he repeat the same thing in Q2? He's sliding out of the final corner. That could affect it all. It has. God Chaos is out of qualifying, along with Rekid and the safety car. And now Matty comes through the final corner. That's it. Everyone else can chill out, have a little cup of coffee, and enjoy their evening. We have the safety car coming over the line. He doesn't improve his time of a whatever. And no, he did get a time of 1minute.fa.il. Get it? Spells fail. Anyway, we have. So Maguire, otherwise known as Rekid, saying it's just a bad day. He's currently P12, only ahead of the safety car, and yeah, as GC doing his Q2 lap on mediums, that might be important for later on as well. So into Q3 then, the top 10 all about to show their true pace, heading into the next 15 minutes. So we have a look at the race director. There's nothing really to report on. There's just a couple of people getting warnings and invalidating their lap time. And I'm pretty sure it's on realistic corner cutting, restricted Z, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll check that at the beginning of the next session. You still got a chance though in the main race. Yes, you probably do. As what does that name say? I can barely see it. Yusuf saying that he had a lap and someone just stopped in front of him, or Giovanni had a lap and then someone just stopped in front of him. That's for sure. As but yeah, so we have Q3 then. The bottom 2 on the previous list are now gone. The safety car should be gone, but I could be wrong. Also, when's Pete joining the session? Is he joining? He's gonna have to join in quali, isn't he? Or is he gonna join midway through the race? I'm not too sure. But when am I expecting Pete? And also, is Pete doing his own stream, or is he trying to join off my stream? Because if he is trying to join off my stream, he might have to join through an Xbox party. Because obviously I won't be able to. My stream won't be able to hear him unless he's in an Xbox party. But I don't know why. It's just a weird Discord Xbox power thing. Is it power thing? I don't know. It's a connection thing. That's what it is. Anyway, we have the Benettons on track, so we should go look at them. Here's Hit. Currently, again, the first man out on track. We have Bios. Where's Bios gone? Bios having a little look. And he does have his own stream, right? Okay, that's good to know. I read the first part. I was like, it was eliminating Q2, and what was their time? It was God Chaos, who set a 29.6, and it was Rekid, who set a 133.5 or 33.8. I can't quite remember. But I'm not too sure what team they raced for. But and also the safety car got eliminated with a 5-minute 24 or something like that. So that's also something to note. Anyway, we should do the safety car, the quality classifications, I beg. That would be funny. As one of the signboards just got destroyed, I think. So yeah, it was Maguire and it was God Chaos, whoever that is. So Lewis Hit on his lap. Just gonna do one check through the cycle. The safety car's back out on track. Confirmation, the safety car has advanced into Q3 somehow. So although it should be 10 cars out on the track, it is 11. Thank God. So I reckon if we restart the race to do the grid pens, we're going to have to make a new lobby, because otherwise that safety car is going to invade us every single time we do a race. So I reckon just to be on the safe side, to avoid like 80 red flags like we did in Austria, we should probably make a new session. Just to be on the safe side. Anyway, we have Lewis Hit, who's going to be the first one to set a time here at qualifying. My lap data has also disappeared. I don't know why. My lap data keeps disappearing, but it keeps just not being there in the first part of qualifying. But Lewis Hit, what time is he going to hit on the benchmark then? Is he going to set a 129, 128, 127? Not 27, not a 28. Oh, it is a 28, a 28.6. Here in qualifying. Not a bad lap by Lewis. We have Matty just behind that, obliterating that time with a 26.7. We have James in the other Benetton going over the line, going P2 a lot closer to the pole time. We have Bials in the Red Bull going up to P3, splitting the Benettons. We have someone else going on and out that. We have Phoenix coming into the club section out of the Vale Chicane. The Ferrari going over the line here. Is he going to take pole? No, he's not. He's P3, which is, if I'm not mistaken, where Charles Leclerc started in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, he's down to P4. So, DXRCS up into third. Phoenix currently starting where Kimi Räikkönen started back in 2018. Where he started P4 for Ferrari before taking out Lewis Hamilton at the Village Corner. We have GC and the McLaren going up into P6 as the team that in a livery that Jenson Button used to race for. As there's, what on earth has happened to Phoenix? Phoenix has spun on the entry to Brooklands. Has he locked his rear brake? Or is that safety car nearby? Because if it is, that could explain that. Maybe, I don't know. But is the safety... What happened to Phoenix? He spun on the entry of Brooklands. That is a very odd one. Normally you see cars, if you see them spin, you normally see them on the other end of the corner, not on the inside of the corner. That's why it's very unusual. But anyway, Phoenix on his in-lap, luckily. No one else on a lap at the moment. Maybe Lewis Hit might be on a lap, maybe Nitro, who just went up to P8. Barely any time to go. Fenix and DXR both going into the pits. We have GC coming into Stowe corner, flying round past the Lando Norris grandstand, into the Vale chicane. No, not into the Vale chicane, into the pit lane. I must reiterate again that the Yana Watmere hack thing, or oh, and there's the safety car, and oh my lord, I thought that was contact. No, my game made it look like it was contact, then he goes through. Thank lord. So as one green GT car goes down the straight in the form of an Aston Martin V8 Vantage, the green Benetton BEN 24 coming through the Vale chicane and out of the club corner over the line, and he's up by 0.3 of a second on his time, but it doesn't move him any positions, so he stays in P7. Nitro becoming a lawnmower for no apparent reason. It looks like he's got confused with the retro racing Silverstone compared to the quadrant lawnmower racing Silverstone, and he's hitting every brake marker board under the sun. That's really going to help people without a racing line. So Nitro trying to ruin the more advanced people. So what's happened down at the Wellington Straight? I can see about 2 cars slow here. No, I can't see 2 cars slow. I think Lewis just had a spin coming out of Aintree, which is that little kink after the loop. Turn 5 of the Grand Prix layout. But as we head down the start-finish straight of the endurance layout, the European Le Mans Series layout, as meanwhile Lucky 0.3 up on his lap, that could take him ahead of Lewis here. So Lewis here could be whacked down by Lucky here. Can Lucky go up the order? No, he can't. And now, oh no, I am so bad. I was looking at Nitro's time thinking it was Lucky. Oh, what on earth has happened there? Paul Scholes is out of the session. Lucky has just assassinated Paul Scholes. That is well-deserved. That is a well-deserved pen, I must say. That is definitely a pen. What on earth has happened to Lucky there? That is awful. So Lucky being, I don't even know what to call that. Lucky just being just absolutely just I can't believe what just happened there. That is the I just had a look at Lad Bible. They've just put something up funny. That's definitely what that is. Anyway, composure. Anyway, we have a bit of traffic management going on through the final corner of the endurance layout of Silverstone, which is Woodcup, coming down the hangar straight. Lucky looks like he's going to be hung, crossed and drawn by Paul Scholes, as he's now mandated Paul Scholes to 10th after that weird ordeal at the first corner here at the Grand Prix layout of Retro. But everyone on an outlap bar Lucky, who's looking like he's not going to set a quicker time. He's currently at 1 minute 50, which is going to be the first time anyone set a 1 minute 52 in this entire race day session. So records being broken here in retro racing here at Silverstone. The longest time around the Silverstone track in an official session here in retro. Yeah. So Maguire, Rekid saying just took the lad's wheel off. That has to be a penalty. Sorry, just trying to do a Maguire impression there. No. Right. Final part qualified. Matty, I just missed that because I was looking at the chat. Matty's just extended his margin to 126. So while Lucky was the first one to set a 1 minute 50 that time, Matty sets a 1 minute 26 lap time. First man under the 127 margin. So Matty, the British Bulldog, looking like he's gonna set this stage alight here in Silverstone. And here on the same day of the Tregrahan Hill climb, with Adrian Elliott in commentary, and Andrew Dinner tomorrow going to be driving an M-C car up the hill. It's going to be a very momentous occasion. Couple hours later, we have the what's it called, the retro racing race it. I saw someone on the inside there. I think that was one of the Ferraris. No, it was Nitro, who's just retired from the session. But Matty doesn't improve his time. He's going for everything and more here in retro racing. As we have James here, purple in sector 2. Can James? FedEx goes up to P2 ahead of James momentarily. So can Matty, as loads of people retiring from the session. One of them's gone off at Luffield. I think that could be DXR. It is. But coming out of the final corner, can James get ahead of M. Biles now? He goes up to P2, but doesn't get below the 126 margin, below the 127 margin. 200ths of a second separating the Red Bull from the Ferrari, close as ever between the two modern teams on the grid today. And there's a car off. That's one of the McLarens. Meanwhile, we have GC currently on a lap, I think. No, he's not. He's finished the session. Lewis hit, currently the last one. Set a lap, and he's hit the wall in the same way that Marcus Ericsson hit the wall back in 2016 on the exit at Stowe. Big smack for Lewis Hits, who hits the wall with the strength of the capital letter in his surname. Meanwhile, the safety car just made contact with Phoenix there. Or was that just me? Probably just me. We'll check with GC. No, yeah, it's just me. But yeah, so that should be it then for Q3. Matty takes pole position ahead of this man in the Benetton. Then comes FedEx in the Ferrari. Then comes M. Bayous. Then comes DXR, who's currently ahead of GC, who himself is ahead of the safety car on the track physically, but is also ahead of Mr. Lewis, Nitro, Lucky, and then the scolded Paul Scholes, who gets scolded to New Zealand Mac by Lucky, who is probably going to get hit with a hefty pen. Yeah, so the safety car, meanwhile, looks like he's qualified a brilliant P0 here in qualifying. So what a lap by the safety car of 4 days, 8 minutes. I don't know. I forgot what was the GT pole time in the LMS? Probably like a 3-4 minutes something, wasn't it? A 3 minute 25.61878, I'm gonna say. as a weird guess. Anyway, that's your order after Q3. Lucky being absolutely penalised only half as brutally as the way he murdered Paul Scholes. Well, yeah, Matty ahead by 2/10. Then the top 4 all separated by under a second. Then comes the bottom 5, who are all separated. The bottom 4 who are all separated within a second of each other. Then we have Paul Scholes, who wasn't able to set a lap. What's Lucky? Oh, and Lucky. So Lucky went into AI mode, and that's why his AI did the whole crashing thing. The only thing is that technically, even though you're an AI, you're still in higher, more, how do I put it, in more leagues like PSGL or like even other leagues, like they always have this thing where even if you pause and you're still technically in control of your car. So I I don't know if that makes the penalty justified or not, because I think they have there's a regulation, isn't there, in some of the leagues where, at least some of the ones that I've been in, like SRC for example, where you have to kind of pause safely. But anyway, speaking of pauses, we're going to finish this pause. Oh wait, no we're not. We're going to keep the pause, but just add it with a bit more chaos. It's lights out, away we go for the ridiculous racing British Grand Prix, and that's a huge shot. Oh my lord! That is the best thing I've ever seen. As this goes, oh my lord, someone's just gone straight in the wall. As everyone's outbroke themselves into loop corner. That is such a sad sight. We have Rekid, who didn't start and has missed all this fun. We have currently DXR in the lead. Oh, and he misses God's Chaos. As God Chaos missing the Chaos. What a boring lad. We have Mist Lewis currently in a mist of dust on those medium tyres without a front wing, and hits the back of DXR with a huge impact, flings in the air just for fun. As there's a penalty for DXR for a collision. He's in the wall. He's in the wall in the time from the session. God Chaos leads, heading into Cop's corner. Then comes Phoenix. Then comes Rekid, who's doing the Kimi Raikkonen line, coming out of A-Tree, if you know from the 2014 race, and into the wall, big, into the tyres. As Phoenix disqualified, God Chaos here doing some donuts. What a race! As God Chaos retires, will Rekid take the lead? No, he won't. He gets ended by the wall, and God Chaos wins the ridiculous racing Northamptonshire, Buckinghamshire Grand Prix, the Grand Prix of Cheshire, the Grand Prix of Swindon ends then. That was fun. That was fun. Right, so I reckon Pete's gonna join soon then, isn't he? Get out, Peter. That first corner, oh, sorry, I'm making like 8 videos of that because that was the best thing I've ever seen. Imagine being the marshal having to tidy all that up, like, like if you're in real life and then like you're like, alright, keep it clean boys, we don't want many safety cars. It's alright, we'll just crash so much that a safety car wouldn't be able to help in the situation. Do I dare? I do. All of this in one lap. I'm impressed. All of that in one lap. Wow. As my headphones are falling off me. Meanwhile, this chicken's lovely. Anyway, my sister's eating all the biscuits off, so I've just seen the whole world fall apart. Anyway. Do you want an interview? Yeah, I had an interview in Austria. Do you want another one? So, what are your thoughts on the ridiculous racing Swindon Grand Prix?
It was a shitload of racing.
That's swearing.
But I heard you swear, Joe.
Don't snitch.
You're a snitch.
Mom, Ava's eating all the biscuit off and she wasn't meant to.
Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow? That's Skittles, mate. What are you on about? I dropped my headphones. No, not. What? I'm chopped. What does that mean? I'm not a pig or a butcher's.
What?
Matthew in the chat just saying I got stitched up. I haven't been stitched up. I've been royally stitched up. Why nearly kicking me in the face? Nah. Anyway. God, what a qualifying by the safety car though. Such good determination. So impressed. Eduardo Barrichello. What a qualifying from him. He's had loads of good qualifyings in WEC this season, but how nice of him to drop in. Obviously not in the WEC Aston Martin, but in a disguised safety car Aston Martin GT3. And he takes pole position in LMGT3 here in Retro Racing for the first time, and in WEC this season he's taken three pole positions now as well. Oh, it's Bird Mylander in the safety car, not Eduardo Barrichello. So that whole WEC reference was not nice, but yeah. Grid pens, right, grid pens. Lucas is at the back of the grid in P12. Then comes Rekid, then comes Patrick, who was God Chaos. Then comes then comes one of the Jordans, which is Paul Scholes. Then comes one of the Lotus cars, who's that? Who's in P8? Is that GC? That might be GC, I'm not too sure. Oh no, GC's the man in P5, isn't he? Yeah, GC's the man in P5. Lewis is Lewis here in the Benetton. Oh, pardon me. Yusuf is the man in the Red Bull. What I call Bius. Pardon me. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers having their home race today. We have a Swedish driver, a Canadian, 2 Dutchmen, Phoenix, what flag is that? And we also have a German in the form of the safety car driver. And Kai needing to well, it looks like Kai's trying to what's Kai doing? Kai is going to fuel up. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna have a wee, but Nitro P8, Nitro. So Nitro is hang on. Who's Nitro? Who's Nitro? Let me get the leaderboard back. This is taking ages. Where is he? Where is he? Where is it? Oh, it's not there! No! Oh, there it is. So, Nitro is Egohan. Egohun Nitro. Woo! Right, ready up everyone, I think. Ready up. So Pete's probably going to join mid-race, I reckon. So Nitro is Egohan. It's Owen. Oh, it's Owen, but it's an Irish version of Owen. Why does it spell Owen as E-O-G-H-A-N? What? I know it's Irish, but like, can't Ireland just like use the letter O and then put a W there? Does it have to be all of that? It's a dyslexic's nightmare. Anyway, we have what do we have? I don't know. We have the Yeah, yeah, as lucky, not so lucky with the AI. So Lucas Sopicasso not having the best luck. Right? Huh? Right. Right then. Will do. Okay, so we're getting ready for the race today. Probably gonna get ready in about 30 seconds. I don't think there's any wait or anything. So, I'm just gonna go blue. Oh no, because it doesn't show the timer, does it? It doesn't show the timer. I'm gonna pray for early safety car then. But yeah. I have a thing on. Wait, that's been off the entire start, hasn't it? Oh. Yeah, nah, I muted by accident, and then I gave it. Oh, I gave it to my sister last minute. So yeah, okay. I've been muted the entire time. Okay. Why? Yeah. Yeah, I saw it on stream. I didn't really see the tyre pop. I just saw it turn into the wall. But yeah. Anyway, just to clarify for the Twitch viewers, then, my mic's been off the entire time, and I've just been commentating into a muted mic. But yeah, we're here for Retro Racing. Then Nitro just DNF'd, and what I was saying while I was on mute is that crash. I was watching it on stream, and it just looked a bit somber. Like my heart just dropped for you. Oh, get the violins. It looked like you needed like an opera. I don't know. It just looked like Shakespeare. It looked like Shakespeare, like Macbeth dying or something like that. It just looks. Yeah, I don't know, but. Yeah. Mint, I'm having chips. I was having chicken midway through qualifying and all. Anyway, someone left the safety car in broadcast mode. So the safety car leads ahead of the Ferrari. No, he's not leading. Well, he is leading, but he isn't. Obviously, as you saw in qualifying, the safety car decided to join us. So I just found out God Chaos. No, I didn't find that out, did I? Right, so we're here on lap 8 then, after that whole muted stream fiasco. Phoenix leads ahead of the man who's led the most laps in this race. What's his name? Matty. Sorry, I'm looking at my laptop because I'm trying to find something. What team? Oh, Renault. It could be Renault. Or is it Williams? I'd say it's Williams. I'm trying to find out what team God Chaos races for. I think it's Williams. I was saying it on mute, and that explains why no one, why thing. God Chaos is in Williams, right? That makes sense now. I was muted, Phoenix. I was. That was bad, wasn't it? But anyway, we're on the onboard, and it's actually gone to my game kind of settings for the onboard cam, which is fun. But I'm gonna stay on it. There's a little bit of thingy in with Lewis and Lucky. I don't know where Pete is, but he might join later on. But we are back to green flag conditions. We have the Williams being hounded by the Red Bull there into Abbey Corner. He's heading through Farm Corner with the Red Bull. Is he going to go to the inside? Whoa, the Williams goes for a move very late, and he takes the Red Bull with him. He takes about half the grid with him. As the Benetton of Lewis hit just a bounce there. I didn't know I was watching kangaroo racing, but Lewis hit having a little bunny hop there. I've never seen an F1 car do a bunny hop like that, not for a long time. Anyway, we have, is that a puncher? No, it's not. It looked like a puncher. It was just me being funny. But we have the Red Bull battling the McLaren. This is very familiar to real life in 2012 and in 2025. I forgot what year it was for a quick second there. Matty still leads into Cop's corner. This can only end badly. Round the outside at Cop's corner, they just about manage it without recreating 2021 lap 1. They're heading through. DXR, Lucky in the Mercedes, Bayous. Rikid wide, and that will set him up badly against the Williams, the McLaren and the Williams, two rivals from the 1990s, battling down Hanger Straight and into Stowe Corner. Meanwhile, I was about to say the Marussia and the Caterham because they're in the same colours, but it's actually the McLaren and the very wide Benetton of Lewis Hitt, who did a buddy hop on the last couple laps ago. We have Lucky. Whoa, Lucky spins in the Mercedes. Red Bull and Mercedes having some old school rivalry chaos, and it's and there's a hit there. Whoa, my lord! Lewis Hitt nearly hits into Lucky, and I think Rikid just hit the wall on the pit wall, which is something I haven't seen for a while. There's a piece of wing bouncing down the pit straight as if it's Lewis Hitt. I mean a kangaroo, and all this chaos happening here on lap 12 of the British Grand Prix. As wide there for Rikid, who's wow, what on earth is happening to Rikid? He's all over the shop. Meanwhile, we have down the inside for the Jordan in the yellow car, trying to beat the Williams, who's the last car to have a proper blob of yellow on the car. There's Lucas saying, what is he doing? Lucky even saying, what is the Red Bull doing? I'm pretty sure. Meanwhile, heading into the Maggots and Beckett's complex, this could change a lot as they head through. Is it going to change a lot, or is it all going to stay standard? Not too sure. We have DXRS, or DXRCS, should I say, heading down the inside of the Benetton. No, he fakes a move and makes James go deep. James deep sets him up badly for this corner. He takes a wide line out of club corner there. That actually sets DXR up for a worse run as it kills his momentum into Abbey. So James does keep the position. As into the pits comes Rikid with his broken front wing. Here's GC looking like he's going to pinch the place off of his McLaren teammate. Down the inside goes the Brawn, but he's not going to make the move stick. We have a look here with the Benetton versus the Brawn, the 2009 Constructors Champion versus the 1995 Constructors Champion. And DXR currently being behind what do you call it? The Benetton. There you go. As heading through Woodcourt on the inside of Cops. Keep it clean, lads. He does back out. That's the sensible thing to do. Backing out, because we have seen a monstrous shunt there over the last 5 years. As we have Paul Scholes currently battling through Cobb's corner with the Williams of God Chaos. We just caught the end of that there. As heading through the Maggots and Beckett's complex, the Jordan and the Williams look very scary through Cobb's corner. We just saw DXR back out of it, as he didn't have the goal to do it. The Williams and the Jordan, though, treating it like a normal Sunday drive. Look at this, they're still battling into Stowe Corner. They both send it, but Paul Scholes scolding the Williams for now. But the Williams not done yet, as wide for Paul Scholes, and the exit of Stowe Corner will set him up really badly for Club Corner, or the Velschkane then Club Corner, should I say. There's out of Club Corner, there goes Paul Scholes, there goes God Chaos. As heading through, we have Lucky here coming out of Club. We have not a lot else happening. We're having another second place train developing. We're having the teammate of the man in third, Mr. Lewis, in ninth, coming into the pits. This will be tight between him and GC. Keep an eye on that on the mini maps. Anyway, we have heading up Cop's corner. Very nice camera angle. The helicopter view. Round Club corner. Around Cop's corner, should I say, not Club. And it looks like DXR's shaping up for a move, but it is Maggots and Beckett, so he would have to be careful if he was to make a move there. But he chooses to bail out. The Ferrari's gone very wide. Phoenix there sets himself up really bad for the hanger straight. heading down the hanger straight here. Will anything work to the inside? As I think so, the Benetton's ahead of the Brawn. The Ferrari loses 2 places in one straight. They're 3 wide into club corner, and the Brawn gets bumped there by the Benetton. The Ferrari flies past him in all, and James takes the lead out of that scrap. At the moment, meanwhile, the other Benetton has his work cut out for him, as Miss Lewis trying to miss being overtaken by GC, as he doesn't miss 10th place. As to the inside of Chapel goes GC, going to the outside of Stoke Corner and taking the place with authority is GC. God Chaos is a Renault. Hang on a minute. So that isn't a Williams, that's a Renault. Ah, the 2005 car. I get it now. It looks a bit orange though. Anyway, we're heading up the hill here, and Phoenix side by side with DXR heading through Cobbs, and Phoenix goes wide, similar to Charles Leclerc, but he does come out of that corner ahead. That will be interesting if that will be reported as an illegal overtake or not, because he went off track and then kept the momentum heading into Maggotts Beckett. As Phoenix does the sportsmanlike thing and goes, lets him past, or he just went wide. Either way, DXR doesn't have to worry about that anymore because he is now ahead of the Ferrari momentarily. Meanwhile, wide for the parallel. It's heading through the chicane here. Now down the straight. Matty leads by just over 8 seconds now. Then comes James, who's currently ahead of this black and turquoise, no, this black and lime, should I say, car of the Brawn. Then comes the Ferrari. Miss Lewis with the 3-second penalty. That's the man in 10th, so he's the first person in the race to have a penalty. In the actual race, not in qualifying. He's down the inside for the Ferrari. That's never going to work. The 48 Brawn keeps in 3rd, keeping the podium. But would he be satisfied with just the podium, or would he want the silver crown alongside it? Heading to Cobbs, Benetton, Brawn, then Ferrari just behind that. Into the Maggotts Beckett complex, 1, then 2, then to the Beckett's complex, 3 and 4, then into Chapel, which is this one, number 5, and then down into turn. What would be turn 7 on the endurance layout. Lewis is out on the Wellington straight. Lewis hit. I don't know if he's hit the wall or just chose to retire, but he is out of the session. Matty sets the fastest lap on mediums because he's bored, and the Brawn ahead. The Brawn behind James, but ahead of Phoenix. DXR is playing a great game of being the hunter and the hunted here at Silverstone in the early stages. Into Village Corner. Phoenix watching this battle. We're on board with DXR, who's currently behind James, heading down the Wellington straight. This is where James's teammate dug his grave. But as they head to the inside there, no, he's not going to make the mistake. James goes hot into Brooklyn's corner, but James also not looking like he's going to make much of an attack. But no, James not making it look like he's not really compromising his lines to defend too much. Heading round the Cops corner. Was heading into Maggotts Beckett. We have a word from Lewis here. I'll tell you that in a moment, just once this battle calms down. But we are about to end. So James has a bad exit, and while Lewis here is currently saying why he retired, James is being overtaken for second. The man on softs in the Brawn, known as DXR, gets past James on the mediums, or does he? Because James keeps it on the outside. They go side by side into the Vale chicane, and DXR gets up into second. He's now the closest rival to Matty, but I mean, I say closest rival. They're nearly 13 seconds away from Matty at this rate. But yeah, Lewis saying that he's put the wrong setup on. So he was racing with an Abu Dhabi setup. Then he said Lucky spun him out 8 times. As Lucky himself got spun off of Bayous as well. It just looks like a day for facing the wrong way. It happened to Phoenix. It happened to Lewis Hitt's teammate as well, with James, in that incident a couple laps ago, just before the Vale chicane. Also happened to, well, it did happen to Lewis Hitt at the start as well. I saw Lewis Hitt bouncing as well on Village. I don't know what it is about Village and the loop, but it does seem to just cause a bit of a concertina effect that is almost unavoidable in some circumstances. As yeah, have a look here. I'll have a look to see if there's any other radio comments, but I can't see anything. There's Lewis saying that what's happening here. And Matthew saying, can people speed up a bit? He's bored as well. Matthew, if you slow down a bit, potentially, you know, you'd help yourself out. As Lewis saying that Lucky saying he's saying that Lucky's ruined his race at the moment as well. So he's not a fan of Lucky's driving. But look, the show goes on. Lewis though, look, I think it was Lewis. He had that DNF in Japan, but then since then he hadn't DNF since. I'm pretty sure. No, well, not until Austria at least. Anyway, so that's 3 retirements now here in retro racing out of 5 Grand Prix that has been raced. 4 Grand Prix that has been raced, should I say? Pardon me. I've just got some wire feeding issues. Ow. Right, I don't know what P is, but I'm just gonna take the things off that I would used to hear him with. So yeah, when P is here, just like obviously tag me and let me know. So I've got chips stuck down my throat. Anyway, enough with that stuff. We have DXR currently being caught by James. We have Phoenix falling into the clutches of the Red Bull. Ferrari versus Red Bull. That's a very iconic rivalry in 2012 in the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is actually the first F1 race that I ever watched. In the title battle between the Ferrari and the Red Bull of Vettel and Alonso. Vettel obviously drove for Ferrari and Red Bull way back when his career. As it was 10 years ago that he made the switch, wasn't it? Or 10, 11 years ago. He made the switch from Red Bull to Ferrari. Lewis Hitt leaves the session. Yellow flags. James is round. James, the man who was fighting for second, spins at the loop. More Benetton trouble at the loop. As another looping spin for James under traction. This is disaster for James. He's now got the Renault of God Chaos going round him. Because James is struggling for traction. Looking a bit jumpy on the throttle though. So we'll see if that can change anything. We have Lucky coming out of the pits in the Mercedes. We have James in the Benetton. As into Cop's corner. Into Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel with James and Chaos. The Renault versus the Benetton. 2 teams that were technically the same team. As Benetton would be bought by Renault. But Benetton will overtake Renault in this situation. Rekid with a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. As it looks like he's corner cut through the club corner, maybe? Not too sure. That's Matty though. No, that's DXR catching up to him. Where did Rekid just go? Oh, he's there. So Rekid's going a bit around the world here in Silverstone, exploring different racing lines. I think that's a good way to put it. We have God Chaos and James locking up. Chaos looking to go down the inside of the loop. James spun here 1 lap ago, and this battle started 1 lap ago, and it's still going on, heading down the Wellington Straight to the inside. To 5th place for God Chaos in the Renault. The Renault that won the championship in 2005, nearly losing P5, but keeping it for now. But heading into Cops Corner, will James be brave? Will he go for it? I think he's going to try it. Why am I looking at Fenix? James to the inside. He takes the move at Cops. What a move by James in the number 5 Benetton, taking out Cops as the Renault trying to get back past, heading through Maggots and Beckett's, but that just won't work. Heading down the straight, I think that was a spin maybe for Paul Scald or for maybe Rika as well. As to the inside, goes the Renault on the Benetton. Nice move to the inside by the 49 car of God Chaos. He takes it, and he's currently ahead at the moment. Heading through. God Chaos currently being a bit of a hindrance to James after his spin, the second spin that James has had in this race. So it'll be a miracle if he can get to the podium or not. But heading through Albion Farm, into the village now as well. Nothing much happening elsewhere, so it's just these two. These two are the closest battle on track at the moment. But James, can he catch up? He's got 30 laps to go. But he is stuck in this battle for 5th and 6th, not able to pull away. He is very close to the back of God Chaos, but the YouTuber in 5th, currently ahead of James. As into Cops Corner, flying round. This is where James got past the Renault on the last lap before then being done on the Hangar Straight. Will the tables be turned? Will it be the Benetton passing the Renault on the Hangar Straight on the exit of Jabal? Let's see. DRS for the green Benetton, who takes it to the inside of Stowe, and he takes it to 5th place. The man in the number 6 Benetton, ahead of God Chaos. Not for long though, into the Vale. This is where Vettel and Verstappen collided in a very similar way, but they just avoid Chaos on this time around. Nearly round for God Chaos, who nearly has a bit of a looper. He nearly spun it there, but he just kept it in a straight line. And now it heads through Tower 1 2. But into Village Corner. Nicely done. It's nearly wide there for James and God Chaos. It's into Brooklands and Luffield then. Nice. James really able to pull a gap after God Chaos, struggling for traction on the exit of Club Corner. But look at this drive by Matty. Matty being the man of the hour here. As I found an onboard with Lewis, if you're watching this, if you're watching this now, I'm probably going to put that on YouTube, just as its own thing, for later on. There's Kai saying Nitro is a bit dirty. There's yellow flags for Reekid, I'm guessing, who's heading into Stoke. Coming through there. A decent pace, but there's now a second being pulled by James, so no more DRS for God Chaos. No, there is the DRS. It did pull to a second, but it is no longer at a second now. While we're looking here, let's have a look at position changes. Paul Scholes up 6 places, God Chaos up 5. The lowest anyone's lost is 4 places. That's Nitro, Miss Lewis, and also not God Chaos, Phoenix. GC has stopped 3 times in this race so far, and is now currently ahead of 2 drivers, one of which who has only stopped once, but that was Rickett, and also Lucky it stopped twice. Tyre wise, Phoenix is the only man on the hards bar Rickett. As meanwhile the suggested prime tyre, I'm going to call it, the medium tyre, currently being used by the leader, the man in 4th, 5th and 6th, and also the man in 8th, and the saucer being used for the man in 2nd, the man in 9th, and the man in 3rd, who has had them on from a very early stage. 19 laps on soft tyres, that must be ailing, as James goes round. James just went round on the exit Chapel. Not the best thing that. Who I see in the background? That is Rickett. But yeah, so James having a bit of a spin there. There's the penalties at the moment. It's only Rickett who has a penalty. Miss Lewis did have a penalty earlier on, but obviously it's DNF, so those penalties aren't worth a lot. As if anything, the penalty being implied by the fact that he's not racing anymore. There's not any other battle in at the moment. James is trying to recover from yet another snap attraction, so that setup of his looking very snappy. Doesn't look like the most easiest to drive setup, but it seems fast, so can't really fault him on that. But there's no point having a fast setup if you can't drive it. Not consistently, anyway. So James just got to keep the consistency up. Luckily, he's not having moments like AJ Nolan had in Season 9 of Ground Effect Racing League, where in F1 25 there's a driver called AJ Nolan in the VCAR driver. The VCAR team, should I say. And he kept making mistakes, and they were such big mistakes, punished him so harshly for it. But it's similar to what James is having now. So it's just a little mistake here and there that's kind of hurting him in his footsteps. Yeah, so he heads into the Vale chicane. On the exit, round club corner. And down into Abbey Farm with the men in 5th and 6th. 2 men who've been battling for a while now. Here at this halfway mark of the British Grand Prix in retro racing into Village. James looking for a move, not making it work. Now out of the loop into Ain Street, doesn't spin like he did a couple laps ago. Into Brooklyn's corner, no move being made. They're only separated by 0.2 of a second. It looks like this is a very interesting dynamic, because it looks like God Chaos is kind of going under the limit of grip and speed, but although that's making him slower throughout, it's giving him less mistakes, whereas James is kind of going over the limit sometimes and making more mistakes but going faster as a result, and it's a great little fusion. It's like the snail versus the hare, or the snail versus the rabbit, should I say, heading through. It's absolutely, it's a great battle to watch. But down the inside again for James, the Williams though not going to let him have it without a fight. Keep it to the outside but having to back out late. But into the Vale chicane, they both brake nice and early. Chaos locking up under braking, locking up the front tyre. As Sky is the one in the Renault. So Sky is the one currently battling James. I've just connected those dots through the Discord chat. It's down into Village Corner. So the 41 Williams, 41 Renault, should I say, currently behind James. Oh, so is it a she? I've been calling God Chaos a he the entire time, my bad. Anyway, so Sky, God Chaos, I'm just going to call it Sky God Chaos now, like all in one thing. Heading into Cop's Corner then with James and Sky, who we've just established Sky God Chaos. Currently heading into Maggots and Beckett. There's Rekid currently being lapped by one of the McLaren drivers. And now heading out through Woodcote. There's not a lot of battling happening elsewhere. This happens every now and again, just like a little settle down period here in the race where there's no battling, everyone's just kind of managing tyres, counting the laps down, just waiting for something to kick off, which something normally does kick off, trust me. But now we just have to keep the dialogue going here in retro racing. As heading into Abbey Corner, it looks like Chaos is. Did Bias is in the pits? Bias in the pits, and also I think Rekid off. No. Bias coming out of the pits then, so he's on medium tyres. So the pit stop run looks like it's being kick-started by Bias. Maybe he's trying to go for an undercut on Paul Scholes. And that would help him out in the race, to be fair, but depends if it would work long term or if it would just work short term. So it's the strategy's starting to play out here now. Whose plan will work? Will any plan work? Will they all have terrible strategy and have chaos later on in the race? Or will they have decent strategy? Who knows? But Sky here catching up to what is now 4th place. Used to be 5th, now it's 4th because of that pit stop for Bias. Heading through into Stowe Corner, Sky losing a bit of time. I think DXR's in the pits, the Brawn in the pits. So has Bias pulled the undercut off? We're going to stay on board. We're going to stay with the Brawn. Who's still in the pits. Watch for that dark blue dot behind that red dot, who's coming towards the green arrow. Keep an eye on it. Is he going to come out ahead? Oh, I think he is. By a long margin. He's going to come out even ahead of Phoenix as well. That's really helped DXR's strategy out. That's really helped it out. It's heading into turn 3. Now there's a car separating Bias from DXR, and it's Phoenix, who we know these two have had mad battles earlier on in the season, like in Imola, and also at certain times in Austria. We know Bias as well was battling with Rez in the other Red Bull in Austria. As they have head through here, we have one of the cars in the pits. That's GC coming out of the pits in 9th, ahead of the 2 DNF cars and Rekid. As I think Matty just went off there. No, it was Paul Scholes who just went off. So we're going to keep an eye on him in case he comes into the pits this lap. See, Matty not into the pits. He passed the pits like 8 years ago. And then so Matty doesn't pit. No, Paul Scholes should I say doesn't pit. What about James? I was hitting my keyboard instead of my controller then. So those two don't pit either. Ow, shit. Sorry, bang my head. Apologies for it. God Chaos and James then. 3rd and 4th. We have DXR, then Phoenix, then Bias on those new mediums. Needing to get past Phoenix as quick as possible. And yes, you could say, oh, but Bias has DRS. How is he not catching DXR quicker than DXR is pulling away? It's because of the dirty end sections like this. Hampers the car twice as bad than if he didn't have a car in front of him. Obviously that really affects pace, but also it affects the airflow going around the car, which affects grip and affects just a lot of different things. There's battling here, Lucky and GC battling. GC desperate to keep the place ahead of GC on those new hards. Contact between the McLaren and the Mercedes, two forces that are aligned in terms of the engine department. The McLaren and the Mercedes heading through turn 1 and 2. but the Mercedes behind GC at the moment. But the Mercedes looks like he's not done yet. Very close to the back of the McLaren, Lucas Sapioccasso in the Mercedes, otherwise known as Lucky Low, going to the outside. Making it work now. He's going to try and dip underneath and run into the back of the McLaren. Meanwhile, Bayous and Phoenix going at it. Bayous gets ahead of Phoenix. Paul Scholl sticking out for that one more lap. Looks like it's cost him compared to Bayous. So Scholl's behind Bayous, behind Phoenix, and he's going to come out a long way behind this pack. Meanwhile, half a second separating the Ferrari and the Red Bull. Two of the four teams today who are in retro racing, but also in real life F1. Obviously, this Red Bull. No, it's the Mercedes that's in pole position today, so the car that Lucky is in P9. Heading round as Maguire, otherwise known as Re-Kid, saying it's been a rough day for him, and he said he's had his wing on the wall. He's hit his wing on the wall, should I say. There's a yellow flag. That is Re-Kids, or potentially the guy ahead of him, Lucky, or potentially GC, not too sure. But the Ferrari catching up to the Red Bull. We'll go on board with the Scuderia until we won't. As we go on the inside of the MotoGP layout of Silverstone into turn 15, should I say, here in Silverstone, the former RAF airfield, now turned into this beautiful home of British motorsport action, alongside Brands Hatch and Donington Park and other MSV tracks as well. Obviously Silverstone, one of the few tracks in Britain that aren't owned by the MSV, the Motorsport Vision Group, that own many tracks like Donington Park, Brands Hatch and things like that. As host loads of events. They host loads of events like the Brands Hatch specifically as well. There's the there's the Enduro Car Series that MSV help to host as well. They host some of the rounds of the British GT circuit wise as well, and they also help in other ways as well. James is going slowly. Not too sure why, but James going slowly there. He's now got Bayous on the inside of him. James and Bayous nearly colliding at Cobb's Corner, and we know what a Red Bull at Cobb's has done in the past, with Verstappen getting flung into a 51G crash. That was almost a huge jump. Move being made for second place by DXR on Sky. Move being made for fourth place by Bayous on James. Phoenix though not getting a piece of the action. James pitting after he's overheated those mediums that he's had on since lap 1. Here on lap 33. As would Miss like to come into the thing? I'm going to invite him just in case he wants to. Gonna invite him to a little party. There you go, right. If Miss Lewis, if you want to, you can come for an interview. And have a little interview. But here we head through. We have the Red Bull, the Renault as well. These two obviously used to be also aligned forces in the engine department up until 2018, when Red Bull said no more engine failures, Renault, and also no more fourth place for you, Renault. All forces and wider Cops, no more third place for you, Renault, should I say. But Sky keeps the place on the exit of Cops. Beautiful. But side by side through Beckett's corner nearly. That's a spectacle to behold. As heading down the straight then to the inside of Chapel, which will lead to the outside of Stowe Corner. Contact between the Red Bull and the Renault. as heading into Stoke on the Sky. Whoa, and round for Sky. That was close. I'd suggest pitting, but Sky stays out. Going around nearly on the curbing at Stoke Hill. Now I'm surprised that Sky didn't pit this lap, because if Sky pit this lap, she could have undercut the threat from James and potentially come out ahead of him in that battle for 6th, which would become the battle for 5th when Phoenix pits later on. But staying out a bit longer is Phoenix's what's his name? God Chaos, otherwise known as Sky. But heading into Brooklyn's corner, there's a car around that will be Lucky. No, it's Reged. So Reged off in Chapel Corner, turn 14. That little kink on the exit of Beckett's before the Hanger Straight. How have I gone? There we go. So we have FedEx trying to catch up to Bayous. Bayous himself trying to catch up to DXR for 3rd place. So yeah, heading into Stoke on a Retro's been mental this season, to be fair. It's been a spectacle to watch. As yeah, let me try and find what am I finding? Should I check if there's any penalty submissions from today? There is some from today. There's the banish Phoenix from the server by Heather. That was 6 days ago. Okay, no, that's not it. Let me check. There's a Nitro saying that GC rear-ended him during quali. Oh, GC rear-ended him on a push lap, right? Okay, so that's being investigated. Kai saying Nitro's being an idiot, and one place, not too sure what's happened here. And then Lewis trying to get a penalty to come to who's it, Lucky's way as well. Well, yeah, we have the drivers' standings here in Retro so far, and it's Phoenix leading the standings in the Ferrari, the most consistent driver ahead of the 2-time winner, Lewis. Hello, Miss Lewis. Let me just check the audio is going to work for you. Just here to interview you about how the race has gone so far, and also your championship hopes later on in the campaign. You're currently sitting in 3rd in the championship, tied on points with the Red Bull in 2nd, Yusuf, but obviously that's going to change in about an hour's time. What could you potentially bring to the table when it comes to the next few races in this campaign?
Well, obviously I didn't really have that great of a race today. Like, I put the wrong setup on, because as I've joined the race, your commentary's gone off my speaker. So I spent the entire before the race trying to set up. So I just clicked on the first setup that was there, and that was unfortunately Abu Dhabi wet. So I literally couldn't do anything, and then on the first turn went wide, got back on track, and then as we've gone round that, I've hit the apex really weirdly, and I've just slammed into the back of someone and just spun out. It was a shocking start in the world.
Yeah. I have to ask as well, I don't know if it was just me, but I thought I saw either you or James bounce on the exit of Village a couple laps in. Am I right in thinking that?
That was me.
Yeah.
I was trying to catch up to Lucky, so I was going up to some I was going with a very awkward line. Also, what the setup was not helping at all, so I was bopping all over the place trying to make up as much time as I could.
Experimenting.
Yeah.
That mad. Well, you're not the only one who's been facing backwards today. I can count about 3 other drivers that I can see on this list that have gone round today. Lucky's just retired from the session.
Yes.
He's
Sorry.
out of the. Where is he? He is coming down the front straight. He's retired on track as well. He hasn't had a crash or anything. He's just retired on track. I'm on board with James, and you can see just a little speck of Lucky in the grass into turn 1. Also, I have to ask, that safety car thing in qualifying, what was that?
I didn't see the safety car, you know. I think it was just a visual glitch. I was just trying to do my laps, and then I heard you waffling about a safety car for about half an hour.
Yeah, I saw Phoenix. I saw it like in slow for like a split second, and I saw that was on board with Phoenix, and Phoenix kind of drove round it, and the safety car was there heading into cops. I could like, there's no denying it. Then there was, I think it was Lucky, I'm pretty sure, or someone in a white car went past it as well, heading through Stowe, and just kept popping up here and there. I was just like, what the what?
Yeah, I was behind Phoenix pretty much most of I think it was Q2, or it might have been Q3, I don't know, I can't remember. And I didn't see a safety. I think I only saw it once, and that was coming up when I was coming out of the pit lane, and it went just around the pit as I've gone out of the pit lane. So, yeah, first turn.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so was it a solid item, or do you reckon you could drive through it? 'Cause
It looked solid
changed
when I went past it. It went solid when I
Yeah.
went through, and then I've seen Phoenix go around the corner, he's gone through it, so I have no clue.
Yeah.
It's probably just a
I'm
visual
guessing
glitch.
you could go through it. Yeah, I reckon, yeah.
I can kiss
Interesting,
goodbye to my
so-
championship hopes anyway.
Well, I don't know. Because I reckon you could still be there. I reckon... Yeah, you should be able to get some more in. I mean, you won, obviously... Oh, no, you got a podium in, what do you call it, in the...
I got
No,
podium in
Austria.
Imola. It was in Imola.
Imola, there we
Then
go.
I got 5th in Austria. And then I crashed in this one. I don't even know what happened.
Phoenix is only... I just realised Phoenix has only finished 2nd in this championship campaign so far.
Is he 2nd again?
2nd every single race.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and then Yusuf has won once, got one fastest lap as well, along with Georgie and Matthew. And Matthew looks like he's going to do it again. And do this battling with Chaos, with Sky and that. So
I'm gonna drop down to about 4th then, or 5th then probably.
probably, yeah. Although I reckon it's, how many races are in this? Like
There's
what,
another
10?
6, I think.
Number 6. Yeah. So there's contact there with the Jordan and the Williams of Sky. So Paul Scholes and Sky, and there's a big move, and Paul's got into the back of Sky. So Sky and Paul Scholes having a bit of carnage in the final sector. There's nearly contact with Sky and Paul, but Paul gets ahead. And not too sure what happened there, but the Jordan and the Renault getting up to some frantic action here, back down the inside into the side pod of Paul Scholes. Well, that's something to... That's a spectacle to watch, just lighting up the tyres there with Sky, but... Yeah, anyway, back to the Lewis stuff. So... What is that? Are there any tracks coming up, do you reckon, that you think you're going to do any better at or any worse at?
The one that so I'm gonna skip the next race because I hate Monaco. I will DNF in the first lap. I will guarantee it. That was me in pre-season when we did pre-season testing in Monaco. I died on the first lap. Or correction, first turn. So I'm not doing Monaco. I can skip that one.
I reckon you just turn up, press pause, and then when it gets to the final lap, unpause and drive over the finish line.
I reckon. So there's some races that I'm decent at, some races that I'm not as good at. So I'm just checking what we actually have because I've not revised this at all. So I'm gonna skip Monaco. Obviously Silverstone's today, so I already failed that miserably. So Spa, I do not know about Spa. I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna be as fast. I don't think, because I do not have a setup.
Yeah, to be fair, I reckon Spar's going to be mental anyway, so I don't think you have to necessarily be the fastest at some of these tracks. You just have to stay out of trouble for as long as you can. That's what Silverstone was about today, to be honest, I reckon, as well, at the moment. Just staying out of trouble. So I don't know what's going on with Rekid, but
It's a lot more.
he seems to be,
It is
he
a.
seems to be on pace and then off. So what was that?
It's a lot more difficult with more people racing as well, because you have to look at, well, if you especially start midfield, which I've literally only started midfield. You have to look at who you're defending, who you're attacking, how to go into the corner without accidentally knocking your front wing off. And even then, you still make mistakes, and it's just.
Yeah, you all look like a swarm of bees on the first sector of the first lap of the race.
I was surprised I didn't pull some bloody Giuliano. I butchered his name there. Some Giuliano. How the hell do you say his name? I'm sorry.
I'll call him Joe Guan Yu.
Joe Guan Yu. I was surprised I didn't pull that kind of crash.
Yeah. Yeah.
I butchered his name. That's good.
Yeah, I heard people say Joe Guan Yu, and then I was like, I remember like for like a month, I changed my YouTube channel name to Joe something or other, as in like instead of Joe as in Joe, I put Joe's spelling, just to be funny. But yeah, he's currently Ferrari development driver right now, isn't he? But yeah, I think so. In terms of Benetton in the constructors, is there anything, any kind of rivalry there, or do you think you've got your position in the bag?
I think unless James can do a really good position, really good finish today, then I reckon we should be alright, because obviously I'm more of a midfield person. James is always fighting for like wins and that, so I'm more there for like consistency on it. So obviously,
yeah, I think everyone's there for consistency, to be honest. I mean, James and Sky had about earlier that kind of showcased it very well.
Yeah.
James was very fast, but he kept just making a little slip up every lap or so that would like put him back behind Sky, and although Sky was kind of going a bit slower than him, like she wasn't making any mistakes and just kind of going round normal there, not making any kind of mistakes, just kept coming out ahead of him, and she's still ahead of him now.
James, hurry up if you listen to this. Race. Don't bomb into the ball like I did.
He's currently in P7, he's chasing down Sky, about 1.7 seconds behind Sky. Looks like Sky's lost a bit of time and all. As well, I think also Biels is trying to catch up to DXR. Actually, that's the closest battle on track at the moment. DXR and Bio's nearly fighting over a DRS gap. Actually, no, it's not. James and I think Sky's made a mistake. James could be going for a move, so just keep her out. Oh, Sky's a guy. I thought Sky was a girl. Okay. So Sky's a guy. So.
Jesus Christ. I'm almost trying to crash out on them.
Nice, mate. Yeah, there's a move being made. James, you see, mate, he's going for a move, but he's not made the mistake into Brooklands. But yeah, and Lewis has now left the interview, and Lewis's teammate going for the move on the inside of Woodcourt. There goes Lewis there goes James on the inside of Sky, who is a guy, which is news to me. Heading through Cop's Corner, Sky the guy into Maggots and Beckett's. That is a really nice name. I'm going to keep calling God Chaos that. Heading through then the Renault of Sky the guy, the YouTuber, behind James, who's just overtaken the Renault in the Benetton. The Renault bought out the Benetton, but yeah, so the owner of the league, which you may have heard earlier, Torlin, saying that this is shorter than Austria with a full quali. Well, yes, it's shorter than Austria. I reckon. Hang on, let me just comprehend that. Yeah, it is shorter than Austria with a full quali, because we didn't have 41 minutes worth of red flags and restarts and stuff. And then we didn't have like every safety car you could have in the. That's like saying that this race is shorter than the 24 hours of Le Mans. Not joking. But yeah, no, I am short with full quality. Although when we have low attendance, the lack of need for Q1, I reckon just for Q1 just mandate everyone to retire and then just do a Q2, Q3 quality. I reckon, unless there's only 10 people, then you have to do a short quality if all comes to all. But yeah, about half a second, 0.8 of a second separating the two men on the podium who aren't fighting for the lead. But that being DXR and Bayou. So obviously Matty is on the podium in the lead by a long margin. Actually, if you're right on board with Bayou's, I think you can. Oh, I was waiting to see if you could see the cars at Maggins and Beckett's or not over the wall at the loop, but you can't really, can you? Anyway, heading into Brooklyn down the inside for the Red Bull, the Brawn on the outside. The 2009 championship battle is back on here in 2025. It's a great battle, and now Rikid's getting lapped again by James, who's now up into 6th, and there's a spin for Rikid as well. Heading into Copse Corner, the Red Bull nearly wide. He is wide, way wider than the Brawn. The Brawn though keeping ahead. Is the Brawn going to be able to make any kind of move on the Red Bull? On the exit, the Red Bull's looking for a move. Is he going to go for the inside? He is. Here at Stowe, the Brawn loses second to Bayou's. Yusuf gets ahead of DXC, or DXR should I say, as into Vale Chicane. Here on lap 45, Bayou's and Matty both ahead at the moment. What's happened to my audio? Okay. I think I just lost game audio. Anyway, we head through with Bayou's and the Brawn heading down the Wellington Straight. Bayou's still ahead, but not making any progress on the Brawn. I'm going to turn off my party really quick, and actually just as I leave my own party, the Brawn looks for a move. As I fixed the audio glitch, it was just because I was in a party, didn't want to load up the audio for some reason. Matty currently ahead of 2 cars under laps. He's currently at Village. Meanwhile, these guys are currently heading into Mag to Beckett's. The Brawn though not able to make any moves. There's something happening. What? It had a yellow flag for no one there. That's very helpful. Anyway, heading down the straight, the battle for second rages on. DXR to the inside. The man who caused chaos in Japan as a lapped car for Williams, now down the inside as a Brawn up into P2. How the tables turned, although the Red Bull looking for a move here at the Vale Chicane, not making it stick. As Paul Scholes gets a 3-second penalty, the third man in the race to get a penalty in the race so far. Heading in to turn 1. Bayou's ahead of DXR. Then comes Phoenix, who's 9 seconds behind. Then comes James and Sky the Guy. As whoa, to the inside, the Brawn goes wide. The Red Bull goes through. Up into second there. And DRS for the Red Bull in as well, so that will not help the Brawn out. I don't know what happened to the Brawn there. It looked like he just got on top of the curb maybe. Or went wide. I'm just looking on stream. Yeah, he just went really wide. That just really hurt his run there. And it looked like almost let him past for DRS, but then failed it. Not too sure there, but heading into Copse Corner then. I think that could have been a failed version of DRS Chicken. And it hasn't helped in the slightest. So, yeah, he's going to have to rethink that one next time. Heading out of Chapel then, down the straight into Stowe Corner. as we have two cars battling as well. I think what's happening here? The Williams is he's being lapped. I thought the Williams, the Renault, should I say, is battling, but they weren't. Sky the Guy is currently not in a battle. As meanwhile, heading in out of club corner with the Red Bull, still ahead of the Brawn, heading round turn 1 and 2. The Brawn, though, not too far behind, but with just under 5 laps to go, I'd say. We head down the straight with Bayous, should I say, and the Brawn who goes to the inside. The Red Bull, though, doing the Max Verstappen defending thing where he takes him to the inside and then sweeps from the outside to keep the place. But Bayous ahead. Bayous ahead of DXR, should I say. Heading to Cops Corner. There goes the Red Bull. There goes the Brawn. The night vision Brawn for Silverstone this weekend. And the car that gave Jenson Button his first ever British Grand Prix win. Or the team, should I say, that gave Jenson Button his first British Grand Prix win, are now battling with their old championship rivals. And when Brawn became Mercedes the year after, they resumed their rivalry in the late 2010s, early 2020s. Even to nowadays, they line up on the front row of the grid for the real life Singapore Grand Prix in 2025. But now they're here, back in their original forms, kind of, from 2009. And they're back battling away. This time only for second, though, because they have Matty in front in a different class up ahead. Heading round the loop, nearly a spin there for DXR. MBUs now pulls the gap a bit further, and it looks like the dream fades away for the Brawn. As they head through, not a lot being done at the moment for seconds, so the closest battle on track slowly parting away, heading down into Cops Corner. Yeah, so DXR trying to stay with BUs, but BUs looking to just be able to keep the gap, keep the momentum, keep the pace, keep the consistency to stay ahead of BUs. It's now down the straight. Into the Stowe corner. Now back down the hill into the Vale chicane. It's DXR currently ahead of BUs. BUs, though, really able to maintain that gap apart from the first sector. The first sector is the bit where he struggles. Obviously that bump at the Wellington straight as well, that will never help on that one. Heading into the loop then. They go around. This is where James spun earlier on. There was drama then. But we head down the straight with the Brawn and the Red Bull. Any move being made by the Brawn? No, not going to make it stick. So the Brawn still behind the Red Bull after all this time. Desperation starts to creep in. He's just going to have to be... He's going to be motivated by the fact that you can see second place within half a second of him. He's going to be motivated by the fact that he's DRS, but he's got to find something that BUs won't have, or won't know about exploiting. But heading into Stowe corner, will it be the inside? Will it be the outside? It won't be any side apart from the backside of that Red Bull. So BU's still ahead of the Brawn, heading on to the 50th lap of the Grand Prix. 2 laps to go here in Silverstone. Wide for the Brawn. That'll probably be it. The night vision Brawn Looks like he's going to have to settle for third unless he can somehow close 7/10s, which he is actually doing a little bit. As the Red Bull looks like he's had a bit of a rough turn 1-2. That Brawn looks like he's better in the straight line speed compared to the Red Bull. As the Red Bull going wide out of the loop. DRS back again. But just not closing sufficiently enough on the Red Bull. Late on the brakes. Not able to make anything of it. Heading round. Lovefields very tight on the exit of Lovefield. He needs to duck in that slipstream, but he kind of went a bit too tight out of Lovefield there. Not on the middle part of it, but on the exit, he probably should have gone a bit wider, maybe capitalised on the slipstream of the Red Bull a bit more. But he is 3/10 at the moment. He needs to stay close in the wake of that Red Bull. Battling with Paul Scholes and James though. James and the Benetton battling up into Cops. Will there be a move made here into Cops' corner? James, oh, contact! James sends Paul Scholes to another county there. Holy moly! James and Paul Scholes, that was almost a huge incident at massive speeds. DXR though, still not able to get past BUs on these final stages. BUs needs to do it now, because otherwise that track position the BUs is in is going to mean the world to him in terms of the dirty air and the wake being flung into that Braum. James though back in battle with Paul Scholes, who's now ahead of him but with a penalty, as we head onto the Brooklands straight, on Brooklands corner. Down the inside, Bayou's getting the move made on him. Round the outside of Lovefield. The Brawn of DXR gets the second place. Currently behind this man, who is on his final lap. Matty has controlled this race like a DualShock 4. What a race it's been. He's over a minute ahead of his team, of the nearest driver. It's been a mesmerising performance from the guy. Meanwhile, Bews currently battling his round. Bews ends the battle early. The Red Bull in the gravel track that Checo Perez went in the first ever F1 sprint here at Silverstone. As here at Cops Corner, is there anything? What's happened to DXR? DXR's got off as well. DXR has let the Red Bull through. Or is the Red Bull now going to let him through? It looks like it. There's all sorts of carnage going on with these two. They're letting each other through. They're going off. They're doing all sorts. Side by side with James and Paul Scholes, though. They're not letting each other through anytime soon. To the inside. Great stuff being done. Meanwhile, behind that, Matty coming into the final section here. There's near the contact there between Paul Scholes and James. But out of the final corner, Matty has absolutely been the king of the hour, and he wins the British Grand Prix in mesmerising Matthew fashion. Matthew takes the win at the British Grand Prix here in Retro Racing. Meanwhile, Bayou's fighting over second place ahead of the Brawn. 1 minute and 12 seconds the gap between this battle and the leader. Holy moly, Matty has absolutely taught this field a lesson. Don't let Matty go for too long, because otherwise he will go and leave you for dead. But nothing being made of this battle at the moment. DRX not able to make anything of it. Heading into Maggot to Beckett's James and the Benetton of Paul Scholes. It looks like nothing's going to be done of that. It looks like there's a yellow flag there. I'm not too sure what it is. The Night Vision Brawn to the inside. Into Stowe for the final time. Takes second place. Can the Red Bull maybe make a move into the Vale chicane? The Brawn stays on the racing line. The Red Bull goes for the move to the outside. They both go off. Phoenix goes through on the pair of them. Phoenix up into P2. Takes second place on the final corner. The Red Bull, the Brawn, fighting lap after lap for the last God knows how long. And Phoenix comes through out of nowhere to take it from the pair of them. And now Paul Scholes giving a scolding to James, but gets a scold of his own with the penalty. Then comes James, or no, then comes Felix, because James gets ahead with the penalty. Then comes GC, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, then comes Sky the Guy, who's in currently ahead of GC. Then comes Rekid. Then comes Lucky. So that is the order. What a finish there. Never say never, because Phoenix at the end there just comes through just as if he was there the entire time, and just goes through on the pair of them, on the inside of one, on the outside of another. That was majestic. Here are the incidents. What a result for Phoenix on that final corner, and he gets a fourth consecutive second place finish in retro racing history. Absolute consistency at its finest by Phoenix. What does watch time mean? I forgot what that means. I don't know. Anyway, does anyone want an interview? I'll invite to an Xbox party because then you can hear it on the thing. I'm gonna invite, obviously, Matty. It would be rude to leave him out. I'm gonna invite Phoenix because again, it would be rude to leave him out after that. join Rocket League. Get lost. Right, that's been done. Oh no, I lost that. But yeah, no. So what are the results? The championship leader Phoenix gets an absolute open door there. Join my party because that was beautiful. You joined my party as well, James, because you had a great battle up and down the field today. Let's invite Sky, the beautiful guy, into the lobby as well. Lewis, you've already had your interview. Rekids, I didn't do that. So. Hello, Matty. What a dominant result from you.
Oh man, got bored.
What in the name? What in the name of Sterling Moss? How did you do?
To be honest, I don't know. Just drank a beer off a fruit race and I went flying. So it's what it is.
I know that. When you drink, never drive in real life. Go to your sim rig because you'll have a lot of success, according to Matty.
Yeah. Helped me. So
yeah. And DXR, what a battle you had there at the end with the Red Bull of MBUs. Was there any moments that captured your attention more than any other? Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah. Also for the barriers as well. That start was how were you able to avoid trouble at the start? Because people were bouncing like Lewis and spinning and all sorts was happening on this first 20 laps. How did you keep yourselves out of trouble?
Well, I kind of just went for it and didn't back out, to be honest. I knew I was first. If I got shoved up the arse, it would have been from whoever was second. I think it were James at the time, but
James, yeah. Well, to be fair, by the end of the first half of the first lap, you were already like 8 years ahead of the field anyway. So.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed with the safety car because I was already 20 seconds ahead, but
yeah. Oh yeah, as well with the safety car coming out midway through qualifying, did that affect your runs at all?
I couldn't actually see him, so like I was fine. Didn't see it one bit, so.
What about you, DXR? the safety car coming out and just going around the track and qualifying, did that hinder your runs at all, or? Yeah. Also, when you were battling with Bayous, did you even know that Phoenix was anywhere near you before he just came like coming through as if he was there the entire time? Man, so also I have to say, Matty, as well, I think you're going to be locked into a little championship battle between yourself and Phoenix and potentially Yusuf as well. What are your thoughts on Phoenix getting second place in every single race Retro Racing has ever done so far?
Well, I've got to give prop to him. He's turned up every race, been considerably, what's the word for it now?
Just consistent, I guess.
Yeah,
isn't
consistent. Yeah. But if I don't miss any more races, then it'll be quite interesting. So, especially with Youssef turning up and being quite fast, I reckon he's going to be a challenger in other races. But other than that, I reckon we'll have a good championship battle.
Yeah, so two of Michael Schumacher's teams battling for the top two spots along with the Red Bull of Yusuf. I'm being tagged, I don't know why. Hang on. Yep. That is right, Lewis. I want to have a chat with Phoenix. Where is he? Where's Phoenix? Did I not invite him? Invite him again. Oh well, I guess Phoenix isn't here, but yeah. Anything else you'd like to say? Any predictions for next races or anything? Or
Well, where's the next race at?
we're
We're at Monaco.
where are we racing? Actually, good point.
We're at Monaco.
Oh yeah, it's Monaco. Yeah, it's Monaco.
Yeah, I think if P1 just like gets away, and then that'll probably be it, unless there's a big safety car and strategy just works out for him. But I reckon we need to do a mandatory like two stop there, make it a bit more interesting.
Oh, I reckon there'll be a mandatory two-stop penny. I don't think it would have to be mandatory. I think it would just be normal. Felix, I have to ask you, what was it like experiencing a through goes Hamilton moment on that final lap?
Like the one. I don't know how.
Yeah, you seem very casual about it, but hype the whole race up. Yeah, it did work out. Worked out masses for you. That also, Felix, what's your reaction to finishing second in every single retro racing race you've done so far? And could you go that step further soon and maybe take the win?
Very fun.
Yeah. Do you reckon that'll be a good chance of doing that in Monaco, or? Yeah. Well, I'm quite scared. If we had 41 minutes of red flags in Austria, I don't know what Monaco is going to be like. I'm preparing for like an 8-hour race or something like that. Like, I can't wait. I feel like I'm going to be watching WEC. Well, yeah. Anyway, I think that's all then. I think, unless you've got any questions for, well, I don't know why you'd have questions for me, but
Well, I'm gonna.
yeah. Right, well, I
Oof.
think that's it. I think I'll see you around then. Thank you very much to everyone for watching. And it's been very good. And also apologies I was mute for like the first 30 minutes. But hey But anyway. Hello. Oh, Max has joined the chat, the BMW guy from last week who got the podium on debut. He's just joined chat now. Hi Max, you just missed the race. Where have you been? Anyway. I'm gonna end stream that. And I'll catch you later on. Goodbye. Ka-ching! Oh no, I've hit the wrong button. Ka-ching! Right, hello stream. You was LBS. I saw you were on split screen earlier, Max. No excuse, mate. No excuse, mate. You've given up valuable points for nothing there. I'm absolutely... Look, come here for an interview right now if you... Because unless you're that ill... P stream, L stream, yeah. F stream. What? Pardon me. Anyway, okay, fine. I just invited him to a party, but I'm just gonna end stream anyway. Fennec saying his voice is chopped. Your voice is fine. Love being sick, ain't it? Yeah, sick. It sounds sick. Terrible joke. Anyway, I'm gonna call it a day and probably play. I've downloaded a bunch of games from Game Pass. I'm probably just gonna play a bunch of them. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.